continuing our series on Linux. Today we'll be doing the bash script. We'll be learning how to create a bash script. So I have already SSH into my EC2 instance. If you've not done that, just come to details, come to show, and then you download your .pem. Okay, that's if you are using Linux, and PPK if you're on Windows. Then you copy your public IP, then you SSH into it. Right away, we want to create a Linux file, a script, okay, a bash script to back up our document. So the first thing we want to do is let's ls and then see what we have here. We have company and we have backups, right? Let me cd to backups and see what we have here, just for the fun of it, not part of this tutorials. Ls, there's nothing there. Okay, that's fine. So we know that, okay, let me cd back and ls. Great. So we know we have backups in company. There's nothing actually here, but there's something in company from our previous tutorials. Okay, so we want to create an executable file, okay, a bash script that is going to create a backup of company A for a day, right? So the first thing we have to do is that we have to create the bash script, bash backup. So we want to do touch backup backup.sh, and when we ls we should see it here. Great, it's here. Okay, so we'll need to change the permission of the script to make it executable. Okay, how you do it, we in our previous series on cloud permission, we did extensively about that. So we know the first figure stands for the user, and by 7 we are giving all the permissions: read, write, and executable, right? We know executable is 1, just do your revision, right? And then the second is for the group, that's 5 minus execution, and then the last is for others minus execution, and the file is backup .sh, right? And when we press enter, essentially we made the file executable, right? So we can decide to vim the file so that we make it we type in our script in our and when you open with vim, you have to press I to start to type in it, right? So the first thing we have to do, I told you about, is the shebang. Remember, that's, you make that if you want to mix you want to create a bash script. Okay, I said you have to begin with your shebang. So we begin hash exclamation /bin /bash, and then it becomes a shebang. It becomes I said it becomes a shebang. It becomes a bash script, right? So is that how it works? Okay, it becomes a bash script, right? So we want to create a variable. I know if you are familiar with what a variable means, it varies, it changes, right, to suit the current situation, right? So what we want to do is I want to create essentially what we want to do is I want to create a script that will back up a particular day, okay, and a particular users of the company A file. So the first thing we need to declare is to declare 2 variables, which is day and then the backup. Okay, the day and the backup. Now we want to say that the day is the particular day we are in. So the way you declare that variable is day. If you are familiar with programming, I think you should be good with this, right? Then you open your your quotations, okay, and the way you make something a variable in of itself is using the $sign, right? So we want to tell the bash script that the date is the current day, okay, we are in, which includes the date, okay, plus percentage, okay, year, okay, percentage, month, okay, percentage, day. Alright, and when we do this, essentially, let me just show you something. When we do this, what is going to give us is the date. Let's say the year is let's say it's 1st January, right? So it will give us something like the year 2025, month December, okay, and then the day January 2. Okay, and this might not be nice and readable, so what I want to do is I want to put underscores, if that's the right thing, yes, in between them, so that they will be spacious enough for you to read. So then we put underscore here, we put underscore here, and we are good to go, right? So now we've declared a variable that is essentially the particular date we are on in. Okay, so want to declare the backup variable as well. Okay, so the same process, okay, but then we want to declare the backup that we are talking about. Okay, where is it located? We are saying the backup is the home slash dollar. I'll explain, give me a minute. Slash backup slash the day, right, the variable we created for the day, okay, dash backups, okay, space company a dot tar, okay, dot gz, if I got it right, gz, right, great, good. So backup home, the current user, we are declaring the variable backup. We are saying that this backup, okay, that we are essentially referring to, okay, is home, the current user, in the folder backups, the current day, and then backups company a.tar.gz. I don't know if it makes sense. Okay, it says that when you want to create a variable for the backup file for the day, you enter this. Okay, so the $user returns the current user, which is the EC2 user in the labs. Okay, this is equivalent to entering who I am. So it's essentially telling it that this is a variable, and at that moment in time, backup, okay, as we are looking for, okay, is the home slash the current EC2 user slash backups, okay, slash the day slash backups dash company a dot tar. And when you run, you should get something like this, indicating the date that we created, 2022, the current time and all of those stuffs. Okay, then backups company a dot tar. So it tells you that the backups company a dot tar is kind of like the name you have given. Okay, all the others are just variables. So the path this can be found. So I want to go back for us to do something. So I will escape WQ, sorry, insert escape column WQ, right, good. And I want to do look at this. When we did ls, we found backups here, right? Do you see backups in here from the command? Yes, so it's telling you that the variable backup, okay, is in the home, the current EC2 user. Then it should be found in the backups folder, and inside the backups folder, the current date, okay, and then the backup dash company dot tar dot gz. Essentially, that's how come when you print, you see this here, because it has essentially created the backup in this directory that we have given it. So tomorrow, if a different user uses the same script, who is not an EC2 user, but let's say another user, an Ubuntu user, for example, okay, and he uses this what do you call it, script, it is going to look for where the home is and the current Ubuntu user, and look for a folder called backups, okay, then in it is going to back up this here. So we've just created a variable for backup, so then we'll come and do the proper backup from here. So let's vibe back into our backups.sh. I'm just hoping it makes sense. Backup.sh, insert, yes. And now with this, we need to come to the next line, continue our script. We are not done. And now we have declared the day, and we have declared what we mean by backup. Now we are going to tell the script to essentially archive it or back it up. Remember in a previous tutorial series we did alias, okay, alias for backup, and we said instead of using the tar, you can use the backup, right? So we are going back to the previous one, the tar. So tar dash c svp zf, okay. We learned what some of these things are. V for verbose, that means that when you are done executing, it should print whatever it has archived on your screen, okay. So you see that and all of that. And then we also learned that the Z is for the .gz file, right? And then pretty much the CF is also for the archiving, right? So that's just by the way. If you've missed it, just go back to the previous tutorial and you'll be fine. So we want to back it up, okay. So we are backing up the current backup, which is this, right? We are backing up the current backup. So when we say archive or backup the current disk, we are trying to say that this is our variable. So essentially this one is looking for the current user and the current day, okay. So if it's a EC2, it will look for EC2. If it's Ubuntu, it will look for Ubuntu. So that's just how it works. And then what are you backing up to this variable? We are backing up the home, the current EC2 user, right? And I think company A, yes, company A. So just like when we're doing the backup initially, so backup, okay, the previous one without the $sign was backup, okay, or archive to a new location or to a new place backup. From where? From company A, right? So essentially the same thing, but this time around this is a variable, which makes it reusable. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So let's just save this, escape :WQ to save and quit, okay. And then we run our script. Remember I said to run your script you do ./ then the name of your script, backup.sh. If everything works well, we should see great, and we see, right, we see the file has been tar exiting with failure status due to previous errors. Okay, I think there were some errors, right? Removing, there were a couple of errors, but it's been able to as it were copy, because the fact that, remember we said the V is for verbose, so it tells us what it has archived. So it's telling us that it has archived all of these things here, right? Forgive me for speaking too fast. I want to be time, but I hope you understand. So let's just ls and see. So let's cd to our backups and see if we have our backups here. So backups, okay, let's ls. Great, and you see we have our backups here. As simple as that, right? Thank you very much.